What's up, guys? Air Codes here. Out on another walk, and I debated on doing a video today because I'm like, I really don't have that much to talk about. But then it kind of dawned on me that, God, I was on Reddit earlier. Seems like a lot of my stuff goes to Reddit anymore, but I was on Reddit earlier and just kind of looking through like the normal feed and, to see like what I wanted to read about or whatever it was. And between the JavaScript, Reddit, the web developer Reddit, the WordPress Reddit, the PHP Reddit, you name it, right? Name programming language. The same question continues to pop up all of the time. And so I kind of want to give you a one-stop shop here. Like, this is the only video you'll ever have to watch to answer this question. And maybe that question will stop appearing all the time on Reddit every single day, because I think even people in the Reddit communities are getting annoyed by seeing it. And that question is, how do I get started programming? Or how do I learn programming? How do I learn JavaScript? How do I learn PHP? Like, and it's like, man, you gotta do it, okay? So let's stop thinking that there's a trick. Let's stop thinking that there's a one size fits all solution. Let's stop thinking all of that. The way that you learn programming is you must program, okay? Think about learning anything that you do, right? When you were a kid and you learned how to tie shoes, how did you learn how to tie your shoes, right? I'm sure somebody showed you and they said, hey, here's what you do. You put one end over the other, cross the one end under it, pull, then you make a loop, you swoop it, and you pull, right? And when you're a kid, when you're 4 or 5 years old, it seems like an impossible task, right? You sit there, you try it again and again and again and again, and you never really get it. And then one day, boom, it clicks. And you understand what they mean by loop, swoop, and pull. You understand how to actually tie your shoes to succeed. And then you continue to practice it, and you get better and better at tying your shoes. I know that's a very simple example, but programming is no different, okay? To learn it, you need to do it, okay? The thing is, maybe that's different about programming from what other people are used to, how. And again, I think this comes from the way the education system is set up right now. I have siblings that are teachers, so this is not a knock on the education system, but I'm saying that the way education works right now is you teach people to do well on the test and then move on to the next subject. You don't teach people to thoroughly know the information or thoroughly apply the information. And that's the big thing, right? Application. So history is one of those things you don't apply, right? We know history, we learn about it. Everybody, if you're in the United States, they cover everything from world history, then that's usually that in high school, but you get American history, you get kind of a good dose of all the history of the world. That is something you're never going to apply. You can't apply history. I mean, I guess you can, but it's not like, it's an easy feat. It's not like you're going to move an army on something, or something along those lines. Like, history is what happened, and it's like facts that you know. That's one example, right? You can't apply that anywhere. Sure, you can apply it to the way that you think about life and the way that you see things, but there's not like a physical application for it. I think the same thing goes for, a lot of subjects. I mean, English, you read and all that stuff, but you don't really, I guess maybe you apply it when you write. But again, it's not, it's all cerebral. And although coding and programming is a cerebral task, it requires a lot of brain function. It also requires the physical ability to take what's in your mind and put it into process and to put it into motion. Where I think it's more relatable is something like mathematics. And maybe that's why everyone says math and code go together, math and programming. Because in mathematics, you're given a problem and you're asked to produce a solution, right? And so the only way you can answer the problem is not by remembering what the thing was, right? You can't do that. You need to take the numbers, right? Say we're, cross multiplying fractions, right? There are rules to cross multiply fractions to get desired algebra, right? Solve for x, right? 3x plus 2 equals 17, right? Solve that problem, solve for x. So what do you have to do, right? You have to remove, subtract, what did I say, 3x plus 2 equals 17? I don't remember now, but if that's what it was, 3x plus 2 equals 17, you gotta subtract 2 from the other side, from each side of it. Then you get 3x equals 15, right? 3x equals 15. Divide x by 3, you get x. Divide 15 by 3, you get 5, right? So there's your solution, x equals 5. Now, I did that without paper, so I could be wrong, but I think it sounds right now as I'm walking. And that equation is never going to be like that again. You might see another equation like that, but next time it might be, 9x plus 12 equals 4. So there, again, you don't know the problem that you're going to need to solve. And the only way that you can solve the problem is to apply what you know and get the ultimate answer. That is more of how coding works, if you can think of it that way. Because, just knowing facts is not going to help you, right? Just knowing about programming. It might help you a little bit in understanding the way things work or why things are the way they are, but it's not going to help you with the act of actually applying programming principles. So think of it as more like a mathematics thing. And I think that's where everyone goes wrong. They think that there is a way to learn this without applying it, and you just can't, At least normal people can't. I'm sure there's some genius out there, or several geniuses out there, that can watch somebody else program and then be able to do it. I would say 99% of people aren't that way. Okay? The way that we get there is that we have to do. And that is everything in programming. That comes from understanding what a variable is, knowing what types are, understanding conditionals, understanding loops, object-oriented programming, functions. You need to use these things to understand them. Then take that a step further is once you have a program running, you need to be able to get that thing, for me at least, as a web developer, I need to be able to share that to the internet. And the way that I learn how to share that to the internet is that I do it, right? I go out, I buy web hosting, I put the things up where they need to be. I configure the Apache server if need be. That is the secret to learning this. And I'm hoping that I'm answering this question in a way that people are finally getting it. So they don't ask again, 2 seconds after watching this video, look for another video that says, how can I learn how to program? There is no trick. There is no shortcut. None of that. It's like math. You need to work through the math problem. You'll understand the rules and the steps you must follow to get the ultimate outcome that you want. Okay? That's it. Right? So when you're thinking about how to learn programming, think about how you learn math. Right? So like, I think take a step further, right? When you're like a kid, right? We get to the point eventually where math can be done instantly, right? You could just know it like a fact, like history, right? Like, so like, 3 + 4 is 7. And I know that. Don't have to think about it, I just know it. Okay? But that wasn't always the case. When I was a kid, they would say, all right, well, 3 + 4. And you would go 1, 2, 3, right? There's 3 + 1, 2, other hand, 3, 4. Oh, count them up. That's 7. Okay. Like you didn't know it then, but you had to apply it, and you had to count on your fingers enough times that it became muscle memory for you. And again, that's the same thing with programming, right? Writing a loop now is muscle memory because I've done it a zillion times. I don't have to think about it, right? And then when I switch to another programming language, it's really just a syntax at that point and be like, okay, oh, that's right, PHP uses a $, while JavaScript uses let. And like JavaScript uses .length, whereas PHP would use count, and pass in the array. Like it's just syntax at that point, but the principal thing is the same. You need to set a counter, you need what you're going to loop over, and then you need to increase that by whatever once you've run through the loop. That's it. Across the road here. Oh, this car flying down, so I had to run. But anyways, so I'm hoping that that's making sense and it's hitting in whoever's watching this' brain, that they understand, like, the only way you are going to get good at it, like just like math, the only way you get good at math is by practicing it and doing it time and time and time again until it becomes that muscle memory, like remembering facts and figures. Okay? Only way it's going to happen. So there is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. There is no video that you can watch that's going to help you. It is in the application. And it's not your fault. It's because the way that the education system is set up right now, it's to learn the facts and pass the test, not to apply what you've learned. Okay? The only class really that you get that is in mathematics. I guess you could say English a little bit, but like English is so different now because when you read online, you break all the rules that you're supposed to follow anyways, so I don't really know. But that's kind of my take on it. And that's what I think, is best going to suit you. So, again, just to recap it, I think, what you need to do is you need to apply those things that you are learning. You can't just watch stuff. You can't just go to seminars. You can't just do any of that stuff. You have to actually apply the thing that you are trying to learn, and in which case you'll actually be able to get where you want to be. So anyways, that's my take on this today. Again, it's Eric Codes. If you have any questions, hit me up on the old YouTube here. And I do offer anybody out there who's looking for coaching, get in touch with me. We could do coaching and get you, give you some strategies to help you do those things and help you actually learn how to do this stuff, give you practical ways to apply it. All right. So anyways, that's all I got to say today. Take it easy.